Hi, TPK community and friends and new friends and everybody. I'm that Magic Juice. Welcome back to Queen's Gambit. This is our Tyranny of Dragons campaign, heavily based off of the 5th edition Tyranny of Dragons combination of Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat, along with a whole bunch of homebrew stuff by everybody here, not just myself. So let's go around the table real quick, introduce ourselves, introduce our characters. We'll do a quick recap of our last super intense session, and then we'll get right into it. Heck, who are you?
Hey everyone, it's me, Sir Hecklot. As per usual, I am playing Aster, the Shifter Circle Wildfire Druid. Moving on over to Niffer.
Hey everybody, I'm Niffer. I'm a sleepy kid, and I'm playing Eliseo, who is a Aasimar time wizard, and they want to become a dragon just like our cool kids here. And in chat, we have the best emoji.
Hi, I'm Hyacinth, and I'm playing an elf, a sun elf. Sun elf that is a lot of classes. Yeah. Next.
Wait, what do you mean a lot of classes? I thought you only had 2 classes. Did you take another class?
I almost did a third too, so.
Why?
Remember when we said I was a rogue? So I almost did rogue for the memes. But then I didn't.
Honorary rogue.
Rogue adjacent.
There were some assassinations that were very
yeah, there were a few
successful.
accidental ones too.
I
You
just
just
like
don't
to
get
point
to know
out,
thieves camp.
I double face palmed at you, and Marsh jumped up so that his tail would also face palm at you.
nice.
So thank you. Good job. Moving on.
So 21.
Hello, it's me. Oh my god, I see that. I see that flashing in the mirror of dead men. Hello, everyone. It's me, Corndog McGraw. I am here playing Elf number 1, Juno, the Twilight Domain cleric. Off to Chrissy.
Hello, I'm Chrissy. I'll be playing Ulta. She's a Kobold Swarmkeeper Ranger. Magic.
Okay, and I am that Magic Juice, the DM of this lovely Clouder. If you don't know what a Clouder is, that is a group of cats. So, in our in our last session, I need to pull up my note here and make sure I didn't miss anything. But we essentially began going into combat against a pair of Dargons that essentially said they wanted to eat us.
Were they dating?
Well,
What?
we can make an insight check to find out, but it's pretty clear that they were not. So we had a fight against an Amethyst and Black Dragon, both of the quote-unquote young variety, but certainly, as dragons go, that's not exactly a child thing, more of a not ancient yet thing. This was within the lair of the spirit guardian of the forest, whose name is Maarlok, after Seymour had led us into this very secret part deep within the forests of the Mirror of Dead Men. Toward the end of the fight, we had a essentially dragonborn / half-dragon looking figure come out of a pulsating, glowing, very large section of the shrubbery in this arena and essentially join the fold saying, finally, I can kill these guys. Something to that effect. And then after we had bested these dragons, that being returned to that spot as quickly as she had appeared. And what emerged in her place was the tremendously large great worm, the green dragon, Maarlok herself. She essentially shows you her own memory of events that had happened not so long ago, where 9 beings, semi-recognizable to you guys, were performing a ritual that seemed to split Maarlok's form into 4 different visages. two of which had escaped, which were the two that you had to fight. One of which was absorbed, and this was a shadow version of Maarlok. And the remaining was left basically weakened down to nothing. She also revealed that you defeating those two that you did allowed her to essentially reabsorb them as her quote-unquote echoes out of game. That might be a thing that folks recognize from a new piece of literature in the D&D library. In game, we can resolve what you may or may not know about that. And then also revealed 3 black eggs that you would definitely recognize from way back in the dragon hatchery toward the beginning of the campaign that had been taken by an angel, quite literally, to be returned. Maarlok, as those 3 eggs are hatching in front of you, essentially gives you her blessing and a promise, and uses the forest around her to push you out, where you are now standing within eyesight, but not like at the base of a mysterious castle deep within the mirror. So that's where we're going to start. But I'm going to open it up to you guys around the table to, as always, let me know if I have misrepresented anything, or if you'd like to add anything that is significant for you guys, or we can just dive right into it and have you guys in character doing what happens next.
I got a 23 insight.
What are you trying to insight?
They're not dating.
Were they dating?
They were
'Cause
not
The
dating.
echoes are
Wait,
not
what?
dating.
I was just trying to persuade the one to help us, which would make a lot of sense for why she refused to help us if there was a further connection there.
You would not get the vibe that they were dating or in that sort of relationship at all.
Okay, I'm not going to tell anyone that I was questioning it.
Okay.
Good.
You know, the only thing I have to say is I have superpowers now.
You're a
That's it.
Power Ranger!
Wait. Do you know what it does now? Like,
Yeah.
what does it do?
Well, you're gonna have to find out.
I'm just going to be like,
Wait and see.
actually looking at Aster and like fangirling and like, oh my god, wait, what can you do now? Like, wait.
When you become a superpower, or a superhero, then you will know.
I will add into the fold Ulta. As you, Chrissy, can see from the updated description of everything, Ulta, you would feel the power of the soul stone that you possess increase as of the moment that Aster receives hers.
Sick.
Got some of that HGH.
I can't wait for the back acne.
Whee!
God. I don't want to like overlead you guys, but if there's nothing you want to be discussing or doing in character as we get to this point, I can lead on.
I am looking as Juno. I am looking at Aster, and then back at Ulta, then back at Aster, then back at Ulta, and kind of just sitting there like, what the fuck, in my brain. But not saying that out loud. I think it's dope that dragons are helping us, but also, what the fuck? So Juno's just gonna sit in the WTF mate zone while we're inside this
So we're
other dimension?
we're like walking to a castle, right?
No, we're inside of a tree, aren't we?
She-
Maarlok had transported us to a castle.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Oh,
Yeah, the
Yes.
castle we were headed towards in the mirror.
sick.
I'm not mistaken.
Hey,
I don't know if I'm
missed
the only
something.
one, but I have a lot of questions about the fact that we're just at a random castle. She was like, said something like it'll be important or something, like, or I'm gonna take you where you need to go next, but none of us know. We're just here. So like,
Well, weren't they talking like the people that we saw, or that Amna and I saw? They were talking about going to a castle. It's probably it.
Also,
See, I-
how is everyone looking?
oh, let me actually check that.
I'm your spouse. I'm looking great. Thank
Oh, we
you.
were given a full rest after that. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Right.
only
I
if you
like
went to the water.
dunked everyone in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
right. Yeah.
also tried to feed Icarus some peanuts and casted Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
I am full health now, but I'll still eat peanuts.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't really explain it when it happened. It's just my toe touched the water and I immediately grabbed Icarus's unconscious body and just pushed it headfirst under the water. So
everything's back full up.
Mhm.
Excellent. Yeah, let's head straight first into danger. Yes.
Sounds great.
Let's walk right into this spooky fucking castle. I understand that I am a white woman, so a white woman. I should lead the way.
I'm
Including
a white
in-game?
man. Should I lead the way?
you go, honey.
You could try,
Okay. Do you just push me out of the way?
but if you Freddy us, I'm gonna be so mad.
Okay, maybe you should lead the way.
So for
Can we do
context,
this?
this castle is like several hundred yards away yet. You can
Okay.
like just barely see it at the edge of your purview, but you are like at the edge of what becomes a less obscured by trees area. So that's why you're sort of able to see it way off in the distance. So it's not like you're seeing any context of the area or anything like that aside from there's a castle out in the distance.
Can we do some perception checks to see if people and or creatures are near?
Sure. Yeah, we'll go perception on that.
What to
Is
my
it daylight or nighttime?
It's only been about an hour since you guys woke and the whole Seymour saga began. So it is still daylight.
The Seymour saga.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it direct? Is it direct sunlight for me in this place?
No, it would be you're in a thick, foresty, marshy area. So lots of tree cover happening.
Okay, so question, in Roll20, what is super advantage and super disadvantage?
Things that we don't use.
Oh, okay.
Some
Oh,
people
why
use like
not?
if you get double advantage, then you roll 3 or 4 dice, and then the same for super disadvantage.
I don't like that. I'm
Yeah,
glad
we-
we don't do it.
The only stacking we do is if you have advantage and disadvantage at the same time, they cancel out. I see a
Looks like
27 and 22.
22 and 27.
What do my shifter eyes see?
Okay. Definitely no. Like you'd have your pretty standard like small birds and swamp dwellers about, but not like humanoid creatures / things that would attack you, sort of thing. You would notice, Aster, some tracks going both directions to your east and to your west. And those would be like the only visible tracks nearby.
So directionally, I forget, is it east or west that's going towards the castle?
West.
West, okay. And they look like pretty recent.
Let's have you make a separate survival check for
Yeah.
that. We'll give you advantage. It's like
Ooh.
everybody's sort of calm / figuring things out.
15.
We're all being
Okay.
helpful.
Yes. The trail of tracks is actually pretty wide, but given the tremendous expanse that you're in, like relatively speaking, it's a pretty narrow path. It's about 10 feet wide, but you can always see, in some cases, pairs of lizard folk tracks. In some cases, pairs of, let's have you make a history check for this very specific part. It's going to be at least tracks
Okay.
that are not lizard folk. Okay.
15. Again.
Frog people, bullywugs. And then other tracks that are larger creatures, a little bit harder to discern those ones, but there's definitely at least 3 distinct sets of creatures among these trails of tracks.
Well, it looks like all sorts of people are going over there.
Does that mean we should go over there?
I mean, I think that has the place with the most answers, right?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to answer
Let's
those
go.
kind of questions. My ideas are normally dumb.
Yeah, we should definitely approach carefully once we get closer.
Do you want to go first, or do you want one of us to go first?
I can go first. I'm okay with that.
There you go.
Okay.
So are we stealthing?
I think
one.
so.
I feel like that's good.
I think like that's a good idea.
Yeet.
Okay. The tracks are easy enough to follow. We don't need to do any sort of skill checking to see if you're successfully making your way. It's a pretty obvious trail in the 2 directions that you're able to see. Is that 1 stealth for the group? Or is Ulta the only one trying to be sneaky?
No,
I can
will.
also be sneaky.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Pass from
I'll be
Out of Grace
sneaky.
before I roll mine because I'm
Um,
nervous.
I'm gonna encouragingly pat you and cast Gift of Alacrity on you, my friend.
Wait, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, thanks. That gives me advantage on initiative, right?
It gives you plus a 1d8.
Oh, okay. Make a note of that.
All right. Icarus, you occasionally hit a little bit of a sloshy spot here and there and make a muddy squish sound. But you sort of catch yourself enough that you're feeling pretty okay about not potentially alerting anything immediately nearby. The rest of you are doing a pretty good job of, in some cases taking the outside of the path where it's really indented in the middle and you're in, up to your shins and your knees, sometimes maybe your waist. Ulta, since you're smaller in water, you're going around it enough that you're all very confident that you are not going to be alerting anyone or anything that may be nearby. After about 100 yards or so, you're going to end up seeing another small opening in the forestry ahead of you that really just turns into more of a small lake. Everything around you is super waterlogged and like muddy at best, but this is very clearly an open body of water. And you can see at the edge of the trail that you're following, a small pier-like structure with a handful, 4 or 5 small rowboats tied up. You can see that a smaller subset of tracks goes around in one direction as well.
I
Y'all
mean, the
prefer-
boats seem obvious, but I feel like that makes it an obvious trap.
Yeah.
I know I have the lowest insight here, but I'm pretty sure I can tell that.
Yeah, I'd also just be a little worried that if we did get spotted while on a boat, that there's not really that many other places to go
Yeah, no escape routes.
except off of the boat.
Are we expecting traps?
We're in a place
Possibly.
called the Mirror of Dead Men. How do you think they got that way?
Icarus, make an insight check.
Yeah. about that? 14.
Your thoughts on that question may wander for a second to one observation that the notes and insights you had been given about what you may or may not be looking for, or at least where you were going, didn't include anything along these lines.
Everything feels fishy. That's all I know.
I do have the ability to send out an illusion of myself if we wanted to try to spring traps.
I have a bird that can look.
Your bird
Oh,
is not
Damn
around.
We forgot Kevin.
Did you say
Oh
Kevin?
no. It's,
yeah, that's
it's a Home
Puff's real
Alone joke.
name.
He's got a real name?
Yeah, Puff has a real name, but it's not Kevin. Puff is what Juno calls the bird, and therefore that is what Puff's
Puff.
name is. Puff has a real dignified name. Okay.
I will search the area for traps.
Anyways.
Okay.
Can I do anything to get Puff back? Like, can I resummon him?
Metaphorically, so
You can dismiss and resummon him, but it takes an hour and 10 minutes. Right?
Takes an hour to summon if he's been dispelled. Has he been dispelled or dismissed? Because those two are different things.
Right.
In the
You
context
did not
of the
actively
spell.
dismiss him, right?
I did not dismiss him. He just was not there. I think.
Right. You intentionally left him with Jamna.
Right.
With some ideas in mind of how he might be useful. So there's a couple things you know. Let's have you make an Arcana check. But what you know before
Okay.
the Arcana check is he's not close enough that you have the connection within the 100 feet.
Mhm. 22.
Okay. You'd be able to tell that he still exists. He's not been dispelled.
Okay, so if I dismiss him and then resummon him, I don't need to spend the time and the money?
It's a ritual cast, so I don't think you have to spend any money. Right?
Well, so if he hasn't been dispelled by magic, I can dismiss him out of existence and then pop him back without having to do a ritual or anything.
Oh, right, the whole pocket dimension thing.
Yeah, I can put him in a pocket and bring him out later. I can save him for a rainy day.
Let me. This is potentially significant enough that I'm going to take a second to look at this real quick.
I'm gonna
Holy
double
cow, you
check
made your
the
character
spell.
sheet really cool.
Yes, I
Uh,
did. I didn't know I could do that. Now it's pretty. D&D Beyond, everyone.
D&D.
D&D Beyond.
You can temporarily dismiss the familiar to a pocket dimension. Alternatively, you can dismiss it forever. Well, it's
I would not
temporarily
like to
dismissed,
dismiss
you can
him
cause it to
forever.
reappear in any unoccupied space within 30 feet of you. Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so he's not like fully gone. Cool.
Right, and you can definitely feel that he still exists, somewhere
Right.
in this plane, in this dimension, I guess,
Mhm.
and hasn't been dismissed or dispelled.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Do we want the familiar here? I forget what we thought he would be useful for with Jamna.
If I recall correctly, your intent was to, if Jamna needed to alert you guys, to send him to you
Okay.
while you were in the forest, the pocket of the forest. That is the phrase I was looking for.
Fam.
So I guess we're out of the pocket of the forest, so I guess you can do it. We're
Okay.
gonna be where we are for a while, I feel like, so.
I'm gonna.
So we should probably
This
have a
is
bird.
leaving Jamna entirely on her own.
This is true. And I don't want to freak her out with being like, oh no, where'd the bird go? But I don't have a way to tell her I'm taking the bird.
And we also don't have a
You
way.
could just not take the bird.
That's true.
And
I'm
then-
wondering if the bird is going to be useful here. Like, if we need the bird, I'll take the bird.
Well, we've also gone through like portals, so like the bird's not just gonna fly here, so we have no way of knowing. Because Jamna can't send the bird.
It's a magic bird that's summoned here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
it
we
would,
have to know
it
to
would
summon
appear
it.
to.
Yes, I can summon it wherever I want.
But how does she tell us to summon it? She can't. Is what
The bird would have to fly towards us, I think.
The bird is basically holding an action to see anything, and then when sees things, begins the transport to.
But
Can the bird dismiss itself?
It cannot. You have to dismiss it. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to the.
Game.
I'm going to add to the awesome perception check that happened before. The area of the forest you're in looks very different from the area you started in before going into the Maarlok's area. You cannot see in any direction the road that you were at or that was in sight when you left in the first place, and therefore you can't see the small hut that you were sort of spying on in the first place. And like the trees and shrubbery around you are all much thicker, much larger. You're clearly in a much deeper part of the mirror.
How do we know we're even still in the mirror?
None of you know this place, so I guess that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Oh no, I've
If we
stumped
really-
us all.
If we really need someone to get a bird's eye view, I could
Yeah.
shape
We
into
have
something
plenty
and
of
fly
bird
up.
options. I just want to know when we need that particular bird. Also, I suppose the bird no longer knows where we are to come find us anyways. So if Jamna sends Puff out saying, I need help, Puff's going to be like, I don't know where they are. So I think Jamna's on her own no matter what we do.
I agree.
Oops.
Not to be that person,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to make a choice because we've been talking
Yeah.
for a very long time, and I
Somebody
would
birthday
feel bad for our
birthday.
friends watching us.
Yes.
So let's just fucking go break some traps. Let's just go fucking in, right? What's
Sure.
the worst that could happen? We die?
Yeah, I agree. With
I
everything.
mean, that's a little melodramatic, but
Yeah.
I feel
Hi,
like
honey.
we
Please
have-
don't die.
I feel like we have options to check for traps. I feel like we have options to trigger traps and watch traps. Like, I think heck flying up would be a dope idea. If the bird doesn't make sense to be where they are, just fucking break it here. We'll figure something out with it. And then I think we just need to be sneaky as fuck and just go towards this castle. I don't think the boat is the sneaky as fuck way. I'd rather take the
We
long
all
way
did wanna
around
do the boats.
and just...
I'd say we do
Okay,
castle
same.
and send bird to boats to investigate. If that sounds fair.
What?
Heck, when you go into your bird form, I'm gonna bless you or give you guidance, whichever one is better.
I feel like
I'm gonna give you guidance,
might
that's
be-
what it
yeah,
is.
it's probably the better
I'm gonna
one,
give you guidance so that way you can look for traps.
Be a spooky dead bird, because it's the mayor of dead men or whatever. So
Oh.
And like a vulture or something
spooky
crusty.
cryptid.
I mean, I could be a vulture.
Ooh, be one of those weird stork things that stands like 20 feet tall and looks like it's about
Yeah.
to murder everybody.
Oh, you're
Do
talking
you
about
mean
Shoe
Baba
Bill,
Yaga's
aren't you? Yeah,
the
shoe
weird
bills are
shit I sent you
wonderful.
from Florida. Be
Yeah.
that bird. I was like, that's a fucking dinosaur. That is not.
I love
of
them
this
so
time
much.
frame.
Just be a
I-
pterodactyl.
I follow Shoe Bill hourly on Twitter.
That feels right.
No, I'll probably go with a vulture. That sounds fine. So let's do that.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of fly around and look for traps, and maybe like do like a little perch like somewhere closer to the boat and see what's going on with that.
Okay. So as you do this with the bird stats or yours? I forget.
Well, if I'm looking with perception, that would be mental stat. So I think I use mine.
Yeah, perception and investigation would be the mental stats.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Okay.
did slap guidance on the bird before she left. Just like that.
Okay. And Hyacinth, excuse me. I did not miss your request to look for traps as well. Is that something you want to do on the ground while Aster
Yeah, I'll
is
do it
checking?
because I know I'm not good at it anyways.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like walk slower than normal, just like la da da.
Okay. Aster, you're gonna see a couple things. Somebody roll for me a d20, please. Just a straight d20.
15.
Okay. Icarus, you're going to see this as well as you sort of approach the pier with the boats. First of all, no traps. You're very confident that there's nothing rigged or trapped here in any way that you're familiar with, or any, suggestion of a trap in any way. What's your passive insight, Icarus?
I think it's like 14. Yeah, 14.
Okay. Yeah, nothing really from the insight, but yeah, you're able to see that nothing is really rigged up or trapped in any way. It just looks like a pretty standard run-of-the-mill couple of rowboats tied up to a pier here. And within a couple of them, you can see a few stragglers of gold coins. Aster, you're going to see about the same thing from the pier and the boats themselves. And as you go higher in the air and sort of check the area around you, no obvious traps. You can see off in the distance along the at the other side of this small lake, you can see a few humanoid-looking creatures toiling away at another similar pier at the other side. Looking to back to the far east, as you get high enough, you're able to see a clearing, which would be the edge of the forested area that you're in, and the road. It's clearly several miles away.
I pressed the unmute button soon. What the heck? Do I see the hut at all?
That's difficult to say. It's far enough away that 17, I'm going to say you're not sure.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, I'll get back to the party and I guess drop Wild of Shade so I can tell them this. Yeah, there are definitely some people home. They're on the other side at the castle, or the other side of the lake.
Well, should we go say hello?
I mean, suppose.
Okay. I also did see some coins in the boats that gives me like, that one story about like you need to pay to travel over the river to death. It gives me that kind of vibe.
Good to know. We do have quite a bit of money, so I think we'll be okay in that regard.
Yeah.
I will lead the group on the land towards the castle, please.
Okay. It's another couple hundred yards. Is there anything specific that you would want to be talking about or
Talking
discussing
because we're stealthing, I thought?
I'm okay with stealthing, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're still being sneaky.
Okay. So new section, new stealth check then.
You can't trick us into talking. Ha! Oh, actually, though, I rolled a 22.
I just did that twice. How did
Alright,
that
Earl, just-
happen?
Natural one.
Oof.
Was there a pass without a trace casted or no?
There was. I don't know if it helps in that one, but
Crit
Ooh.
fails are only for attacks, so that would bring that up
Oh.
to a 17. Nice. Okay. So Icarus, you almost slip up a little bit, but the magical help from Aster will prevent you from totally blundering. You're going to notice along the way that 5 new small rowboats are now going across the small lake from the other side to where you had just left. As you see that coming, you're able to sort of duck behind a couple of the larger tree trunks that are around the trail that you're following, and you're confident that you're not noticed. But then after another minute or so, you're going to see a second group of humanoid figures coming your way on the path.
Let's hide.
yeah, out the road. Like, yeah, I guess we're
Stuck behind
hiding
something.
and watching them pass by.
I turned myself invisible.
Oh, become trees.
Mainly because I still want to be like, if they pass by, I want to be within hearing range of what they're saying. That is the intent of this invisibility.
Okay.
Plus, I get to do it for free as a spooky bitch. So,
Okay, so we'll keep the same stealth. You guys are able to get yourself, far enough off of the beaten path that you're following, and behind another cluster of large trees and their bigger trunks that you feel confident about being out of sight from these creatures. As they get closer, you would notice 5 lizard folk, 5 bullywugs, and a very large lizard-like creature with a sort of pack on its back. And they don't really seem to be talking in any way. You'll hear the occasional grunt and huff as they're trudging along through the muddy area here. That's about it. What's everybody's passive insight? I got Icarus at 14.
23.
Oh, my insight isn't as good. It's 15.
11.
Okay, Juno, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Every few seconds, you'll see a couple of the lizard folk like give each other a nefarious look, as if they're in distaste.
I wonder if they can like smell us or something.
Does it seem like they have a sense that someone else is here?
You can, let's make an active check for that. Yeah,
Okay.
insight check for you then.
I can create odors if I want to try and mask us. Just saying.
20 or 33. I rolled a natural 20. I rolled a
Jesus.
natural 1 followed by a natural 20, and I get advantage.
Nice.
33, please. I am reading their souls at this point.
Yeah, you are aware that the DM exists. Okay,
I pierce the forehead.
what do your elf eyes see? So, when you see the first pair sort of look at each other and give this sound, you get this vibe that just really unhappy with what they're doing. And then one of that pair will look at another one and give us a sort of like eye roll. You're gonna get the sense that they're not a fan of their company, but that their distaste here is not related to sensing you guys in any way.
Oh, you
Okay,
know we
does it-
gotta Gandalf this and trolls.
Does it seem like it's the bigger lizard that they're not a fan of? Or is it the frog folk?
Even with a 33, that would not be something. They're not giving any sort of specific indications.
Are they given like dirty eyes at any one particular individual, or?
No, they're just sort of showing distaste amongst themselves in general.
I'm just gonna lean over to my sister and go, so the big one looks really cool. It's probably the little frog people. That's just my opinion because the big one looks like kind of scary. So
Judo just lightly shushes her brother.
wait, sorry, I got a new spell for this actually. I'm gonna
Cast
cast.
silence.
I'm gonna cast massage. I picked up the cantrip message last level thinking it was massage.
Ah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
okay.
Just to clarify, the larger creature, like it's like bipedal, right? Like it's walking on 2 feet, not like a quadruped, right?
Hold, please.
I
You
envision
don't
like
know.
big pack animal, like 4 legs,
Is it Toby?
dire wolf, but lizard.
Yeah, like you mentioned pack, so I'm just like, okay, that could mean a backpack, but that could also mean like a
Oh,
pack
right.
that you put on a horse. So like,
Yeah, it's a giant lizard-like creature on 4 legs.
oh, okay, this changes things.
Like
Hold up.
alligator or larger?
Yeah, you say giant 4-legged lizard like that's a dinosaur. Is this a dinosaur? Do we get dinos? I want a dino.
I need to get a better description of this.
I would like to perceive it.
Why is this being so difficult? There we go.
I'm gonna zoom in on Gandalf dancing.
I can just show this to you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you these creature handouts because they're close enough that it's very clear to see what they are. So we've got. I gotta flip back here. Managing stuff. Your view hasn't changed, right? Okay, good. So the lizard folk look like this.
Hmm.
The bullywugs look like this.
Cute.
You're so cute.
I love them a whole lot.
We
Of
immediately
course this
befriend
one's
this
not.
entire party.
I forget how cool like lizard folk look. Sometimes they're like so intimidating, but like chill, you know.
Hmm.
They've just got good vibes. Like I'm gonna eat you, but like in a friendly way vibes, you know.
Oh, that's
Oh.
why it's being difficult.
What
Mhm.
friends do you have?
Some of us do
I
know.
I think maybe we need to reevaluate your meeting of
I mean,
friends.
not like friendly, but like cool, you know.
It's always nice to be eaten in a friendly way.
Right.
And, you know,
Okay,
like,
so I'm gonna have to just describe this to you for now because there's not a handout for this in here for some reason. It looks kind of like a crocodile, but instead of like the long narrow snout, it's got a long mouth. But instead of like the narrow snout, it's got like just this massive forehead that goes all the way to its nose, and like a big beefy midsection where the neck starts and the front shoulders, and then going back into basically looking like an alligator for its back legs and tail.
so the best way I can describe what I'm seeing is lizard cow.
Maybe.
which again is just a dinosaur.
Is there? You said it was carrying a pack.
Yes.
I want the pack. How do I acquire the pack?
Your investigation, please.
Excellent. 14. I am not smart.
Okay.
Oh wait, I roll that. I roll that with advantage because I have incisive senses as an elf.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
I'm amazing.
It is loosely strapped on with a pair of buckles underneath the belly. So like straps
sweet baby.
coming down from the pack on the top of its back down to buckles, like belt buckle style on its belly in the front and back. But you can also tell that it's empty.
Oh, bye. If it's empty, I don't care.
I bet it's for carrying bodies.
As long as they're sourced responsibly and ethically, I don't care. Necromancy is an art.
Agreed.
Thoughts drift back to one particular necromancer who now has a redemption line coming up at some point.
I will help you write your hero's story. Then I guess we wait for them to pass and press on? Capital question mark?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they will get to a point that you feel you can safely and stealthily continue on without encountering them.
Neat. We keep sneaking.
New perception checks, please.
Perception checks. Oh. $27.
That's why I'm taking that one in a row.
Ouch.
25.
19. I caught up with you all.
I got a 12.
Okay. Icarus, you're pretty distracted. You're a little focused on continuing forward. The rest of you are going to see that the group on water and the group on land eventually meet up at the small pier on the intersection that you had started at and continue eastward. The path ahead of you is now empty, leading up to the base of the castle. Is there anything you want to do?
Should we knock on the door?
Knocking isn't very sneaky.
If you're getting to a point that you'd be close enough to do that, there's new things you would see. So are you essentially getting to that point?
Yeah, I believe
I
we're
think so.
pressing on until we get to the inside of said castle.
Okay. So
I think the goal was to infiltrate.
Was that the goal that we were given by Hex Power Ranger God deity dragon friend?
I agree with it. I don't know, but I agree.
did she tell you anything about this castle?
I don't think so. I think it was more a broad picture of like, you know, stop whatever the cult is doing from happening. They're doing very bad things. Do the good thing.
Right.
I think we heard about the castle from Heck and Jamina.
Yeah, when we were eavesdropping on the lizard folk with that one human guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were talking about the castle, and we were talking about the road building supplies because they're trying. That's kind of the end goal here. They're trying to build a road through here.
Easy passage through here. to get probably hoardish items quickly to destination.
Okay.
I guess like possibly by going in here, we could see like why this place specifically.
Okay. In that case, this is a good opportunity for us to take a quick break. And in doing so, I'll shift you guys to a new map and description of what you see and all that jazz. So we'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We are on a new map, and let me make sure that your view stream is where it should be. But decisions have been made, and we now... Oh, that's why. It's big. We are now standing at the... opening leading up to the strange castle in front of us. The pathways are clearly opening up as you get to the perimeter, and I would like to show you an image, please, if I can get to the right
Ooh.
damn window. Okay, this is more of like a nighttime image, but it is clear as day.
Love a turret.
That's what we're looking at. Okay, at the section you are in, I can zoom myself out. Oh, no, that's not me. That's the stream view. Sorry, guys. I am just captain of the struggle bus today, I guess.
You're doing great.
I'm
I am
trying my
happy to
best.
be a
Thanks.
passenger on the struggle bus. That's where I wanted to go today.
Yeah. Okay, so up here to your north, where the lake sort of split off into a stream, I do want to reiterate that the whole area around you is super waterlogged, marshy. Like, the best you've got is semi-dry mud is the area that you're like walking on. So the quote-unquote watery areas are like, it's really hard to tell the actual lines between is this like a river or a creek, or is it just like it happens to be a deeper part of the waterlogged area we're in? Kind of hard to tell. The area to your north has about a dozen more canoes and rowboats tied up along the shoreline. And then you've got to your south here, it's walled off, but you can see and hear essentially an animal stockade. A few more tent-like structures way to your far east this way. And then the castle itself is this structure. This is one of the walls you can see to the east, a little bit south of those stockades. Or those tents, sorry.
You said animal stockade?
Mm-hmm.
Like where they keep their lizard cats?
Possibly.
Like we should go there and all get lizard cats and take over?
I think that could definitely be a goal for after we figure out what we're supposed to learn here.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless we get inside and they're like, get to the lizard cats, and then we get to the lizard cats. But I feel like maybe whatever the cult's doing here first and then lizard cats on tier of necessity. But I don't disagree that we should check it out.
I can live with that answer.
Well, where should we go first?
I would walk, but I tend to not notice traps and walk straight into danger. So I'll walk second.
Esther, you are kind of best equipped to be leader on this one.
Yeah.
You
I'm
also-
okay with checking for traps, but also
Ah, I can't
okay.
see. My vision left for a little bit.
There, that's
What?
better. I just had to toggle it. You should all be able to
Oh,
see
okay.
farther than you did before now.
Oh, nice.
So you can see more walls of the castle, like way over here.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's got like a
okay.
moat. Okay. Yeah, I guess I just needed to toggle it. And then one description I forgot is a series of tents, like smaller individual or like small group tents in your northeast over here.
Have we gotten a good idea of how many critters are living and or around this here part, or are we just still running off of 5 Lizzie? These are my notes. 5 Lizzie boys, 5 bully boys, and 1 Lorge boy.
Let's have you make a retroactive perception check before getting to this point, because we didn't really describe much of what was ahead of you other than the castle itself.
18.
Okay. Every once in a while, as you were approaching, you would have seen like a pair or a trio of lizard folk or bullywugs going back and forth between the castle and this area, as well as between the castle and like this pathway into this area. Can you see that? You couldn't see that.
Yes, I could. I
You
could.
could? Okay.
Yes,
It's not
you
showing
did
up here.
from here. Oops, shit.
man, what a mood. Every time I'm on roll 20, it's just like, and here's a new drawing for you. I can't delete.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so
You
between
were going from here
yeah,
to around. Yeah, okay.
yeah. Never more than like a pair or trio or a pair of pairs or trios at a time. So,
So anywhere from 2 to 6?
that would be like, yeah, the most that you would have seen at a time. Really hard to tell, you know, get like a good total head count.
Yes. No overall numbers, but they're not walking in rank. Like, we don't have to worry about like militaristic ranking lines of creatures.
Just the buddy system?
Okay, well now Magic just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
did the
Magic
thing
just
where
made
he
the
had
face
to like,
Well,
yeah,
I-
like
I'm not fully understanding. Can you help me, the DM, understand what you mean by militaristic and rank?
So like we'll use game 1 as an example when it was like one major dude and they all walked in lines like
Oh,
as a massive pack. So we're not seeing massive packs. They're walking like just
Little
a,
cruise.
just
Right.
little guy.
yeah. So if we want to compare it that way, this actually looks much more like the camp, the hidden camp, than the approach of the attack on Greenest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jiggity check.
Looks like they're living here, and I don't know, just the way that they interact with, you know, the bullywugs and the Lorge boys, and even that human. Like, I just get the sense that they don't really want to be here that much. They don't really like it that much. They're just here to work. So I don't know how much information we would really get from the tents that they're living in. I don't know. I don't know, you all. My gut's telling us to, or telling me to take us into the castle first, just straight to the top. But that's just me.
Straight to the castle,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is our best bet.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get into the castle through the animal stockade, or are we just gonna like find another door? I don't know.
Does it look like from where we are that there's a place we could stealth to like look for entrances and exits. I'll keep your hands and arms inside the castle at all times. You know, like.
Given the perception that we have on the table, you can see pretty clearly that the hut area to your northeast pretty much just leads into thick forest again. Although over here on the northern side, like the northern tower, that moat continues around, and it's possible that there may be open space over there. You can see over this to your southeast. This like enclosed area is really more like a fence, but because of it's a 2D map, it's just kind of completely cut off. You're able to see sort of past this, and enough of the area around the castle to your southeast here that there's like a bit of water. And there's enough of pathway at the edge of the trees that you could reasonably sneakily make your way around.
Yes, could we maybe stealth to the best vantage point to make sure we see not just the front door, but any other entrance and or exit, say you know, like a shit pipe or whatever.
The back door.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're making all of the things weird today, aren't we?
I would like to leave this phone call now, please.
Back door.
Channel is rated as mature. The staff made sure that is the case. Yeah, so I guess it's a matter of south and east would be like the more obvious route to take from where you stand right now. But that's not to say that the other way is not an option.
So, like, are we talking magic like down here? Like over here?
Down here.
Or are we talking more like here?
Yeah, far
Okay,
south.
What? Okay. Well, I guess we'll head that direction, and then if worst comes to worst, we'll reach around the other side.
Okay. Let's have y'all make stealth checks, please.
Do we still get past without trace?
It lasts an hour, so
Good, because
I'm
I
not
rolled
sure.
a 3.
From the point that you cast it, yeah, it would still be up.
Okay, cool.
At
I
least
rolled
one this time.
a natural 1 for a total of 8.
Oof.
Oh, I would just jinxed it. I'm sorry.
So
yeah,
18?
I rolled a 5, so 15. I'll take it. You have saved us, Heck.
Okay.
That's how it's
24.
coming clutch this campaign. I
Yep.
gotta say.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the sake of this, I'm going to shift all your tokens for you and get to a couple of points, describe what you see, give you the opportunity to discuss in character what you want to do, if anything about that, or just keep going. And we'll kind of approach it that way until you guys want to change it up. So we're going to be way down here now. Can the view? Yep, that's there. Okay. So coming around this pen, you're essentially coming around to the back end of it, and as you get closer to it in the first place to sneak around, you can sort of hear the snarling and hissing of lizard creatures from inside, and the occasional chewing and jowling of them eating. It would become increasingly clear that this is essentially a pen for those creatures. Down here to the east, you can see a couple more tents. I'll actually shift you a bit more. A couple more tents or huts in this area. And then a better view of this sort of sunkenness of the castle within the marshy area, forming a sort of pseudo moat going around. So with your stealths, you would be able to reasonably surmise that going a little bit into the tree line would probably help your efforts. And is there anything you would like to do or discuss here, or would you like to just continue?
Can we, as we are going past the animal stockades, can we see inside or no? I cannot on the way that it's currently set up on Ye map, but I don't know if that's
Right.
just how you were doing it for.
No, this is one of the pre-generated maps, so I did not build the walls myself. Let's see. You can see into them. So these are thick logs that are driven into the ground the long way, spaced about 6 inches apart and bound together with twisted fiber. So there's enough of gaps in between each post and the fibers that you can see enough. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I would like to discern with mine eyes if I can. Do they look like they're trained creatures, or do they just rely on heart and gusto when dealing with these guys? As I am now a dragon trainer. I'm trying to sell it here just a smidge. But you know,
We support you.
thank you.
Hey, the worst thing that can happen is I say no, right?
This is true.
Make an insight or nature check, your choice.
$19.
On which check?
Oh, insight. Sorry,
Insight.
I should say that.
Okay, so within this area, you would notice that the creatures don't have packs on. There are several water troughs and then like piles of raw meat and dead animals lying about. And the giant lizards in here are rather calm, comfortable looking. There aren't any like handlers around, so there's really nothing to observe from that standpoint. But in the interest of trying to glean if they're like well trained or not, you wouldn't really glean anything new from here, but you might think back to the one that you saw walking with the group earlier. It wasn't on any sort of like lead or restraint. So you could easily or reasonably assume that, yes, they are indeed trained to be semi-intelligent pack animals.
Okay, with my insight roll, would I also know that if I were to pop a lock and let them run away, that it would do them harm because they don't know how to survive without their people? Or is this just like this is a fucking easier way to live for me? These dummies feed me all the time and all I have to do is carry these bags. Like, do I think that they'll just like take off? Like, Alta is thinking if we get rid of the things that they need, but I also would not intentionally do harm to something. And if it can't take care of itself on its own, she doesn't want to like pop a latch and like let them go.
Or introduce like an invasive species to the entire swamp.
Okay. I had to think about this one.
Yeah, what are the ecological implications of this?
Forget actual D&D
Well-
stats. We just need to know the food chain of this area.
Food chain of this area, but then you're also thinking about like sneaky and sabotage kind of stuff. That's legit. So I want to do it justice. There's no like under the table way for me to ask this, so try not to metagame this. You're asking me these questions. Is this something that you're discussing with your friends, or is this entirely internal monologue, act on the moment kind of thing? Okay. then please make a history check. This is going to be for if you might know some more things about A, these animals, and B, their domestication. 15? Okay, so on one hand, you're fairly confident that these creatures would be able to survive on their own. They're big and beefy, and from what you can tell, it just seems like they're being treated well or like healthily here. You wouldn't really be able to get a good beat on like if you just opened the cage, would they go without any other prompting? Kind of a toss-up. But at the very least, you'd be fairly confident that like they could survive if they ended up not here and just on their own.
Okay.
Oops.
So you said there's no handlers around,
Correct.
and that the fence is held together with, like, not twine, but like vined things?
It's not held together by that. These are like big, like 2-foot wide tree trunk logs lodged into the ground, only this far apart.
Okay.
And then there's like some fencing to add to it, but it's not like it's being held together by that. Yeah.
Okay, I was picturing something totally different. I was picturing old 1860s, like spoked with like ties around them. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't picturing. Okay, so
yeah, this is a physically strong enclosure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the same boat,
shit.
Chrissy. I was like, I was just gonna.
Yeah, I was just gonna saw a few, I was gonna make a few of the points a little easier for these guys, where if they happen to side swipe it and knock a wall down, good luck to them.
Yeah, sorry.
But if
Thank you
it's
for asking. I could have probably described that better than if multiple people were in the same boat.
I think I was just picturing them down rather than up.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
I was just going for the ideal fence situation.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's not going to do anything then. If there isn't anything that she can actively, because she would actively sabotage it somehow if it was easy, and it was something she could do by just quickly hacking at something. But if this is something she would have to stop, take time to do, she's not going to do anything. But
Okay.
she's going to make mental note of all of that, because on the way out, she's letting those motherfuckers loose.
Okay. In case
yeah.
it wasn't clear before,
We
you
could ride them
would have
out.
seen at least one door style structure at the northern side of this pen.
Cool.
Sorry, Corndog, did I cut you off? What was that?
Oh, I just said we could ride them out. I got excited in my brain
That would be
about.
sick. Do they come in different colors, like when you purchase mouse in game?
I mean, I imagine
That's
they'll
a very
become
interesting-
associated with each of our Power Ranger colors, so yeah.
All right. Do we want to check out a little further ahead?
And we walk in.
Quietly. Going up to here.
Okay. About here. Whoops. Here.
Oh.
You guys can
Are
see.
we stepping into the tree line? Sorry.
Yes, my bad.
Okay.
So it's just the edge of the map. So you'll be healthily in the tree line, but I can't. That's the end of the map page. So we have to imagine. You do see another door-like structure right here. By the time you get to this point, and then a couple more hut/tent-like structures that are larger, like the ones that were directly in front of the castle, unlike the smaller, more personal-looking ones in the far north area of the map. You know what? I don't think there's any really good reason that these walls need to be here, so I'm just gonna do this. There.
Cool.
Because they're not I mean, they're tall enough that like a normal-sized person or humanoid thing can stand up in them, so... But it's not like they actually have to cut off that much view of the map. So is this painting a better picture now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Getting to this point, you can hear some conversation-level voices coming from the huts, although they're muffled because they're coming from inside.
Is there anybody around there? You said there's nobody on the outside?
Not at the moment.
With my 24 stealth, can I try to stealth up to see if I can hear what's being talked about?
You're doing something different with it now, so it would have to be a new stealth check. But you can.
Fine, take that 32. Please.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah!
Okay, so I need to look at this real quick. Whoops. Which, can you please ping which hut you would like to go to? For the record, this is an opening right here on this one. This is the opening on this one. And on the far left one, the opening is at the north.
All right, I will go to like here, like there.
Okay.
Is that where were there people in there? What I don't want to do is go like to right here and then just be an eye shot of
Of
this
that doorway, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
That totally makes sense. Okay. So, yes, as you get closer, you can hear voices discussing something from this hut as well as this one, now that you're getting closer as well. And we are in this area. Okay, you can see a bit more detail from these. Improvised small huts with essentially like deer hide sort of structure pegged on sticks, essentially. Sturdier stick, not huge logs like the pen. And then like covered in some mud as well, as if an attempt to blend in. You do speak this language. The people inside are speaking in Draconic, and you can catch not much more than casual conversation just between them at the moment, until at one point a handful will express distaste toward the frog people and the fact that they have to work with them.
But they're adorable.
I will return to my friends when I'm done listening to them being a little gossipy bitches. And I will make sure I tell them that there is dissension among the ranks. And look towards Icarus, because he has, in the past, been successful at sowing seeds of hate among groups. So
I you're gonna make fun of me again for the bad kobold comment I did that one time.
It worked. You were able to sow a whole bunch of chaos.
yeah,
It did
I was
work,
saying
though.
nothing about the kobolds. I was just saying you were very good at that task. So you could do
Okay.
that again or try.
I will turn into a lizard folk.
Have you seen a lizard folk?
Yeah,
Yeah,
haven't we
we
all
just
seen the
walked past
walk
them.
Oh, you walked past. That's right.
I was like,
I'm
Okay.
honestly, in all honesty, trying to cover my ass here because of all of the what might they do here that I did. Of course, what you're doing right now was not on the list, so we're winging it.
And we're winging it.
I'll lick my boot like, are we ready for this?
I'm I'm gonna. No, I'm not, because that requires concentration, and I'm still invisible. Never mind. I was gonna bless you, but
If you're
you
invisible,
don't
you
need
can
it.
come with me.
Oh yeah. I will
I
be
say-
nearby.
Beside me.
I will be nearby.
So, like, we're all okay with this plan, right? I'm not gonna like go get myself killed or something.
You might, but I'll be there.
I mean, you could wait until maybe we're at a different spot, like,
Ooh.
you know,
Yes, maybe you're our guide into the castle.
or maybe like you could stroll in through the front door, and as you see various lizard folk, tell them like, these frog buttholes, they really did a number on our friend Joe, and just really start finger pointing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not just gonna go sow chaos, or am I?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Well, I thought I was just gonna walk into that tent and get them to start fighting each other again, like last time.
Well, I don't know that there's frog people in there. I think it was just people speaking in Draconic, so
True. Oh shoot, I can't speak in Draconic.
I can. I'll be
Well,
with
yeah,
you.
but
So
like,
can I.
but I'm the one who has to turn into one of them.
yeah, and Juno will be with you, invisible, so she could just stand very close to you, behind you,
Whisper in my ear.
probably even wrap her arms around your waist and just speak as if her head
That can
was
only
next
go
to
well.
your head, and go very perfect, and she
Oh.
could just speak the words.
So you're lip syncing to your sister?
She's just gonna respond back in common.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
our voices do sound very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only part I'm not like sold on is like, in what way am I doing this to help us? Am I just like gonna ask some questions, you know, like last time, or?
You could ask him about what's happening inside the castle before we go storming in.
Yeah,
Could find out what lives in there, how many.
flub it a little bit.
Hmm.
Because like I feel like we know a lot less about this situation than we did last time. Because last time we knew it was the cult. Now we're just like Lizard Castle.
I feel like it's safe to assume that this is cult related or adjacent, at least, at
Yeah.
minimum, because the cult is building the road to this place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
they
they think
want
they've-
it.
Hired the lizard folk.
Everybody make a new perception check, please.
Ugh.
Great.
Can I use my advantage from Rudolph on that?
12.
I'm
What?
gonna use one of my +2s to make that
You
a 15.
can, yeah, you guys can use your chat cleric stuff for anything
Thank you,
applicable.
Rudolph. You
Yeah.
saved my ass. Appreciate you.
Okay. Definitely high enough amongst the group overall that I'm going to actually correct a theory that is definitely incorrect. And we'll say retroactively, you would have noticed from your spying at the hut that construction of a road was actually continuing from not much farther up the road from the hut and continuing along that path along the mountain. There is no construction happening as far as pathways go in the area that you're in now.
Hmm.
Now that we have a lizard folk, though, maybe we just go into the castle.
Yeah, you want me to go into the castle alone?
Do you need like a small piece of paper with simple draconic verses like hello?
Sure.
Uh,
yeah.
That way,
Actually, you guys read it on my hand.
just in case somebody, asks you a question and you need to respond in simple
Yeah,
ways.
I can do that.
I'll come with you so that way I can also serve as an interpreter of sorts.
Yeah. How far away is the door?
The door to the hut or the entryway to the castle?
The castle.
The
We're going
castle.
to-
This way I can also send message to the group outside.
Mm-hmm.
Or not send
can also
message.
talk.
Sending. I can use sending. The The cleric. There we go. Got there. The cleric spell. Sending.
The bard spell, massage.
God.
I think we might be too far away for a massage.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so with the perceptions and investigations that we've done so far, you did not expressly see an entrance exit, although the pathway on the other side of this, so like just right here that you saw when approaching, was the only point you could see that like the path went to the castle and was not obscured by water. You can draw what assumptions you will from that.
Let's walk that way.
Okay. I will walk in the steps carefully behind my brother with my elven boots, as opposed to whatever those feet look like right now, but staying invisible as long as possible.
Okay. So did the plan change from going to the hut to going to the entrance?
Yes.
Sneak into castle.
Okay. And it's
Or just to
you
get
two.
there and like make sure that our friends can get there safely.
The dynamic duo. The sun and the moon.
The twins.
Juno, how long does your invisibility last?
An hour.
Okay. So you're just walking. I'll allow you guys to move yourselves for this part.
Oh no.
Move like 2 to 3 squares at a time. Where are you going?
Oh god.
Uh,
So you said it was this way, right? Just is it through the wait.
I say we go around the outside of this hut. So go walk over here.
Yeah.
So that way we can kind of be out of sight for some of it. Come back. Stepping in your footprints.
Yep.
Oh geez, that was more than 2 squares.
Sorry, it's hard to measure. I'm just like
That was like 7 squares. There's a big difference between 2 and 7, Hyacinth.
I'm not doing it by keypad. I'm doing it by drag and drop.
Okay. You can both, as you're continuing this way, hear the casual, sometimes more aggressive tone, but not like fighting discussions happening amongst several lizard folk within all of these huts. You don't see really anything new at this point, other than just a reiteration of this being it's like a small hill. It's not an actual like wall off to the area, but you can see that the walked path is more around it.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna continue around that round path.
You're saying here?
Yep. I'm just going that way to find the entrance.
Okay. As you get here, I'm gonna have you pause for a second. You'll hear some snarling from some of the giant lizards in the area as they sort of look at you, but then like just sort of hold their snouts up a bit, give a huff, and then just like continue about what they were
I'm just
doing.
gonna whisper, "Why don't you just smear some tool on me or something to smell lizard blood?"
Maybe in a minute. Keep going. And I'm just gonna like poke you in the small of your back.
Oh, I'm going.
To the other
You may
group,
continue.
should we move a smidge closer? Like, say maybe like in like over here in these woods?
You could try like going
Yeah, we could
along the
definitely try.
riverside, going through those reeds and stuff.
Yeah, going like
backside.
this way.
Yeah, just going
Yeah.
behind all of the tents.
Yeah.
I like it.
That way we can stay within range for massages.
I've got a massage of like at least 60 feet.
It's just funnier, like especially after this week's episode of Oathsworn. This is so much
Listen, this week it's all about self-care here.
all
at
about
TPK.
massages, all about self-care. It's treat yourself
Lots
Thursday.
of self-care
I'm
here.
thinking to go around this corner.
That is
Wait,
in the lizard pen.
Oh my goodness.
way.
I got confused. I saw a wall and couldn't see through it, so I got confused on what it was. So
Are
I'm
we going like this way?
up this way, right?
Uh-huh.
Or up this way? Why is it not letting me ping? Up this way to go this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Magic, would you like new stealth checks from the rest of us if we are moving to this spot here?
I did not see it. Oh.
Like up here?
Yes. I will need new stealth checks from all three of you.
We still get past without trace?
It's still up, yeah.
29.
You're about a half hour into it.
30.
Jesus. Okay. Yep. No problem. You can you can go ahead and put yourselves in the exact spots you wanted to be. Right about like here would be, excuse me, the place that you notice is most obscured from general surrounding view at the ground level. This is sort of like a hill. I think I said that right. It's like a small hill, grassy. These aren't like trees or anything that you can actively hide in. But it's sloped enough that you could, like, if you nestle onto this right-hand side, you're at least like blocking yourselves from immediate view. Icarus, please make and Juno, please make a perception check.
Okay, perception. 25.
Jesus. I thought I finally did well.
An 18.
25.
A semi-split party. Who'd have thunk it?
Let's split up and look for clues.
Oh man, you did Freddy this.
Okay.
That
Wait,
was you,
take yourself
Daphne.
too.
So you two up here, actually the other group, please make perception checks as well for what you can see from here. Icarus and Juno, you would notice another shift up here in people, although now you can see more closely. The only people you see walking around that area would be the bullywugs. You do also, as you approach, see a handful of lizard folk go between these two, both directions. Hard to tell if it's like the same ones or different ones. They all look very similar. They're wearing similar attire. So it's hard to tell, especially from this distance, but they're sort of going between both of those places. And then occasionally, zooming in, bullywugs and giant frogs emerge from here, going to the camp in your north. Let's get the player view in the right spot. There we go. This is the spot that I was pinging.
War. It was so much fun last time.
What's that?
I really want to start another Civil War. It was so much fun last time. With the dissension among the ranks.
I don't know if it was necessarily a civil war as it was like an uprising of
Coup.
Yeah, it was a coup. It was a coup.
Yeah.
It's an uprising of
Usurping.
self-worth.
Yeah.
Gave people their purpose.
Exactly.
It was a noble gesture.
Yeah. From entirely great intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep.
I was
moving.
there. I saw it.
Would you like me to still move slowly?
Keep moving and moving. Oh,
Ish.
hello.
Can you ping the Oh, you're going toward the entrance. Okay. So let's get you to about, I'll shift you now, here.
Okay.
Oop.
You're going to start to see, you can see like this first border on your actual screen, but you're going to start to see several bullywugs moving about in this opening area. And with the perception that you rolled, you might reasonably assume that everybody's sort of working at a task. Nobody's just like standing around twiddling their thumbs or anything along those lines. There's like constant movement happening.
Walk with purpose.
Should we fuck with them or just go inside?
I think you should walk like you're better than all of them, and we should go inside.
So, like, be lizard folk but act dragonborn?
Got it.
Yes.
All right, I'm
Dragonborn
gonna start moving
or
to.
half dragon spirit inside your lizard.
Oh,
folk
half
body.
dragon. Yeah, that's even
Yeah.
better. Thanks.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna start walking towards the door.
Go full.
Is it just
breathing.
open, or is it like a gate, or
It
is
is.
it?
It is just open. So I'm gonna have you pause there.
Okay.
And Juno, since you said you would be right on his heels, you can be right there too. So I'm gonna describe more for you. Okay, so sloppy mud covers the stone floor of this large chamber. Planks have been laid from the gateway to the causeway. So like right here. This would be the gateway. It's open. The causeway is down here. To create a 10-foot wide raised boardwalk. So you can, it's not well indicated on the map, but maybe I'll just draw a quick line here. Basically here. That thick black line. Do you see it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Awesome. That's not the shift I wanted to make. The joys of having a large map to show on screen. Okay. Da-da-da. You can see a few tables have been thrown together, like crudely from loose pieces of wood just being laid across barrels. So like a couple makeshift tables are strewn about in this area. And then something similar for seats. Everything is nearly as muddy as the rest of the floor. You can tell that everything that's not the sort of walkway right there would be difficult to walk through. Hint, hint, wink, wink. There are no windows or arrow slits anywhere within this entryway, and it is seemingly patrolled by all of these bullywugs and giant frogs that you can see around the area. And as soon as you get to this point, you'll see the first few that have line of sight to you will sort of give you a quick glance and then like turn away, give a shrug, and just sort of like keep going about their business.
Have we, in our time around the castle, seen any lizard folk go into the castle?
Yes.
Okay.
From these tents, yes.
Because I'm looking at the bullywugs, just like, are the only people inside. I'm like, shit, what if I'm not even supposed to be here? Okay.
You did see a couple over the last few minutes go into the castle and come from the castle to these tents.
Okay, cool. So, I'm just gonna get ready, take one big breath, and build up some false confidence and walk in.
I am in the background for support.
Okay, you're gonna step in. I'm gonna pause there. Let's go to the other group. You're gonna see that Icarus turns the corner here and eventually gets to out of your line of sight. Juno and Icarus, of course, you're gonna hear this at one point. The group out here, you can occasionally hear this from between creatures. It doesn't really give you the vibe of conflict or like you're made or anything, but it's definitely a language that none of you understand. And you see Icarus go around the corner. So is there anything different that you want to do other than continuing to hang out here on the hill?
I mean, I have comprehend languages if we want to know what they're saying.
I was interested in knowing how tall this wall is
I could throw
and
you
how
that high.
deep this water is.
The water, you can pretty much see the bottom. It's not like a true moat. Make a investigation check.
watery.
Okay.
Looks like water.
It looks like water, and it's kind of close to the castle. You can see most of the bottom of it. It's just muddy water. But yeah, that's about it. The castle walls. How tall are you?
Mr. Rogers, I fully believe that it's doo-doo water. I rolled a 3 on my investigation check.
Doo-doo water.
It's totally doo-doo water.
Oh, Lagoon, part 2.
Stinky.
I was muted that whole time. It's fine. I'll just talk to myself.
No, you were not muted for us.
No? All right.
No.
That's good.
We heard you. Doo-doo water and everything.
Right.
I'm not. Okay, well, nothing official means I get to make it up. The castle walls are going to be about 60 feet high at the towers. A little shorter at the walls. Maybe more like 45 feet.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Anything else for the group outside?
Yeah, I think Aster is like kind of catching on to like Ulta, like kind of looking across to see if like we could scale just that little gap to get to like the next little bit of bushes. Yeah.
I think we could.
That's what I was wondering too. Is
Yeah.
if we could get to here to have close access to this front
I'm
door spot.
tall. I can carry you both through. That way you don't have to get in the doo-doo water.
It worked for me.
I mean,
I
I
kept
can-
out of the sewage.
I can fly. I'm not necessarily concerned about the water. I just didn't know if the wall. I didn't know what was going on with the walls. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's-
can
it's-
people see us if we're up there?
It's your classic front of the castle tower, completely rounded. There are arrow slits and windows farther up, but you know, at the level you're on, it's completely solid stone wall. And to get to the top would be about 60 feet.
So gang, do we want to try to get over to this side?
I think that's the best plan.
I
Yeah.
agree. To at least be on the same side as our
Mhm.
comrades.
I like it. Let's do it.
Splish splash.
All right. It is
This is
shallow enough and not too far of a trudge that we don't need anything new from you guys. You've got awesome stealth going on, so you can go ahead and move to that area.
And I can press to digitate our clothes dry and clean.
Very nice.
All right. You do see at this point that Icarus is heading in. So what is your intent by being right here?
Watch so far and be backup.
Yeah, we at least know like
Yeah.
where he's going. So
Mhm.
like we don't turn the corner and we're like, okay, well now we lost the rest of the group. Where did they go? Yeah, I guess yeah, keep our ears perked up, see what the conversation might sound like. And
Do you want me to do comprehend languages so that we understand what's going on?
I mean, if they're speaking in Draconic, I think Ulta can just do that.
It was definitely
Yeah.
not draconic.
It was.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
okay.
gonna
Holy
say
Book
because I know
language.
Draconic too, and he said it's a language none of us
Oh,
understand.
okay, okay.
I could make one of us understand it. So, shall I? I think I shall.
Go for it.
I like knowing things. I'm a very nosy person.
Okay. So you're casting that on yourself or someone else?
I can't cast it on anyone except myself.
Ah, okay.
Ulta is going
I am
to
the only
just-
one that gets to know.
Okay.
Ulta's just going to press her body up against this wall as close as possible, thinking that if she keeps her ear to the wall, then this message that she thinks she's going to get from somebody will at least be there. And she will be thinking in her head, if you hear this, we're right outside the door. Only knowing full well that that's not how it works.
Awesome. Okay. So Eliseo, for the moment that this bluthering language happens, after you cast Comprehend Languages, you just hear some quick and short bursts of new supplies coming. The last group just left. I'm not sure what this one is doing here. And then a response will be, doesn't matter, he's with them.
So that was 2 voices?
Yes.
Like just only 2? Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's take another quick breather, stretch, refill, all that jazz. And we'll come back into Icarus continuing another deep stealth operation. Okay, well, we're back, so
Okay.
it's all good. You get to listen for a minute while Icarus and the invisible Juno, well, Icarus disguised as a lizard folk, and the invisible Juno in tow, are continuing into this, what's called a barbican.
Called a what?
A barbecue?
what?
The primary defensive position for a castle. Barbican.
Oh.
Barbican.
Barbecue, sweet.
I learned a new word.
Walking into the barbecue. Nothing
Hope you
no
guys
this
brought
note
some dip or
means.
something.
God damn it. Icarus, what are you
See?
doing?
Not even, it doesn't even need to be an
What's
actual
the other
NPC. It just needs to be any
yeah,
word.
we've
and we will
expanded
lock it.
into literally our surroundings.
You can't
Icarus,
have
what's
nice
happening?
things.
The one thing I've decided while you guys were gone was that my lizard folk persona is like dark gray and black, so I kind of blend in. And then I have like little like reticulated patterns of like gold and pink, so everyone knows it's Icarus because like that's his color scheme. So that's just a little detail. And I'm gonna be like, hey, so let me know if you think there's a direction I should be going, because otherwise I'm just gonna free for all, just do whatever the fuck. And I'm just gonna stroll in the front door. And so like take my few steps in, like, just a little bit slowly to see if anyone says anything about my entrance. And then if not, I'm just gonna keep walking confidently.
Well, so when you came in, you had 2 or 3 of these guys look at you and like exchange a few words with each other and then just like shrug it off and look away.
Okay.
Like not look away, but like continue going about their business.
Okay. So I'm gonna like just keep taking a few steps down that walkway you mentioned. I'm gonna be like, do you think there's a certain way I should go? There's a lot of doorways or like areas. Should I go the stairs or?
If we can get up top, we might be able to send a message to our friends to join us up there. I think that's going to be an
Okay.
easy way to get them to us versus having them come through.
Are
all of
you
these people.
whispering this to each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will need a stealth
I can
check.
come closer to the mic.
I will still need a stealth check.
To be fair, I can make it so my mouth doesn't move when I speak because it's all an illusion.
7
Okay.
or 16. 16.
Thank you for telling me that, because that will actually affect your DC. That's good to know.
I'm invisible. Wait, that means do I get to roll with advantage?
It is a stealth check, but this is not for perception based on sight. Is that a specification in your description?
I'm gonna double check because the other
But
one's a 20.
if you don't see anybody and you hear a whispery noise, your first thought isn't going to be invisible person. It'll be there's a
That is-
fan going.
That is why I adjust the DC for the particular action that they're
Okay.
taking. Yeah. It's a good point, and it has been, yes, it is in effect.
Hold the place. That's cool.
Because it's like the idea that like my tail won't hit things because it's not actually there. So like the same way my lizard mouth won't move because my real mouth is under it.
I think it's just gonna be the 16.
Okay. You would not get the vibe that you have outed yourselves. So you can continue.
Right.
Are
And you,
these
for the record,
stairs in
these
the
are
distance
stairs.
going up? Or are they going down?
They are going.
That was my next question.
Like there's an
Wait,
arrow,
really?
but I don't know what way it's pointing.
Yeah, it's not really. What the heck?
While you're thinking, I'm just gonna whisper in my brother's ear. If the frogs ask you anything, just yell at them in Draconic, or what you think sounds like Draconic. They won't know what you're saying and won't expect you to speak their language.
It goes up.
Ooh, that sounds fun. I'm just gonna start walking towards the staircase then, I think.
Hang on. There is a massive gap that I can't believe I did not notice until now.
Then it's not there, right?
Would it change what you want to do if it goes up or down?
Yes.
Yeah, we're trying to go up.
Because up sounds more interesting. Down sounds like I'm gonna walk into a dungeon and get killed. If it goes down, I'm gonna turn down the left hallway instead of going down.
And now I know all of my friends can fly, so up is a way for us to try to get them into the castle without them having to go through all of these frog people. Potentially.
Everyone can fly but me. Let's be real.
Yep. This is true. But if it's also daylight, I can't fly right now.
Ha.
This
Well, you don't
goes
need-
down, actually. This one goes down.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start walking towards the left hallway then.
Wow, I definitely should have noticed that. I apologize.
You're good. That's why we end.
Yeah. Okay, so the sort of makeshift boardwalk ends here, and you still have to step into like mud for a bit before getting to this area, which is still like dirt and not exactly dry, dusty dirt, but still not like difficult terrain level mud.
Okay. That's fine. I'll just walk that way. And then I'm gonna wag or like move my tail in a way that it doesn't look like it's gonna hit anything, so like no one questions that it goes through things. So I'm gonna be like extra careful about that, just in case it, I fuck up.
Okay. All right, you end up in a long, narrow causeway. There are a ton
Were there
more.
ways in here from the other side? Mother trucker.
You do not see any. So these are like large windows.
Oh, these are windows? Okay.
Yeah, they're not.
I
they're
thought
not
this
like
was a door, and I was like, we could have crossed
Yeah.
right here.
So that this is a long causeway. Nobody seems to be ahead of you directly, at least at the moment. You see that the hallway turns to your left, and then several windows that we just talked about, looking to the outer areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep walking downward and like looking from side to side to make sure there's nothing like in these little window areas that I'm missing, or like that would strike me weird. And I'm just gonna keep walking
What
down
would
the
strike you
hallway.
weird?
Well, just like like I'm sure you'd tell us if we notice something strange either way, but I'm just like keeping an eye open as I walk down.
Okay. Yep. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Or like something noticeable.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Or
there's
stairways.
nobody
If
here.
Stairways come up.
No stairways. This is like a small, just cut off for a couple of benches that you can see. And yeah, that's it. This is a rather boring hallway.
I'm going to the end then, and I'm going to turn the left way.
Okay.
Or like up.
I'm gonna have you pause there, because it opens up into quite a bit. Where is that? Okay, so you can see sort of packed down earth along the walkway that you're following, and it essentially leads to here. For the most part, you can see the activity, the packed down earth from things walking across basically the entire area, but there is a serious concentration of the packed down earth going down to this door. You've got another door on your immediate left, and in the middle of this area is a sort of circular walled off area, not unlike the towers on the outside of the castle. And there's really not a whole lot. There's no reason that these guys should be hidden. There's just a bunch more of these guys, but also now lizard folk around this area.
Unfortunate, but okay.
I gotta shift the player view here for stream. There. Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep walking inward. I don't think any of these doors really seem that interesting, but I'm kind of leaning towards that right hallway, just walking by all of them.
Yes, and I can let you know what they're saying in Draconic.
Okay. I'm just gonna like make my way casually, like walking down the center, and then I'm gonna start turning towards the right side here.
Okay. You are going to hear a smattering of exchanges between these two bullywugs that are talking to each other. And the lizard folk are not very talkative, although the first one that sees you coming along will essentially look at you, give you a quick one of these, and just,
What does that mean?
oh,
This is me to the Geo.
for you, yeah. Another day in paradise.
I am going to give my brother the word for indeed.
Indeed.
Make a performance check.
Oh god.
I cannot help you because that would ruin my concentration.
21.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All right. The two in the back will kind of give you a snicker in response to your response, and then just continue going about their business.
Okay, so I will just keep walking down this way, just like right between them very confidently, like.
Confidence of a half dragon.
Yeah. A half dragon in a lizard folk body. Like half rocking the music as I walk by, like just like chilling my own vibe.
All right, what's over here?
Oh no.
Okay, so you can see at the sort of opening here, this at one point was closed off by wooden planks, and that has at some point been either withered away or destroyed. Kind of hard to tell the difference. And yes, you see a guard drake. Do I have a thing for that?
I am just so grateful right now that is not Blue Angie, because for a hot second there, I thought it was Blue Angie, and I was like, Magic, we need another break. I need to go pee.
It is not Blue Angie. I just realized that is doing a funny thing. Okay. Guard Drake.
I'm kind of scared. That just
It
sounds.
might smell me. Oh no.
It would smell me too. That's the issue.
Throw it a snack. Get some rations.
Well, that does look like Blue Angie.
Yeah, all we saw was the face with the point, and I was like, Blue Angie had the point, and it's
Blue Angie, yeah, except he's a quadruped now.
he's gotten bigger.
He's
Next
growing.
evolution.
He's evolving.
I feel like that's devolving.
Nah. Now
so-
he's got 4 legs to smack you with instead of just 2.
Based on what we have been smelling, like as we walk around here, I am going to prestidigitation that smell around me. Like just
Good boy.
and I'm going to like try to recreate the smell that I've been getting from these lizard folk. So I can roll like a perception or like a survival or something if that's what you need for that. But I'm like gonna try to like falsify the same smell that I've been smelling in this castle.
Okay, I will need a stealth check for that.
From both of us?
Just from him because he's taking an action that is essentially breaking from stealth. Okay. So you managed to do that. And let's see if something happens.
Don't notice us, please. And thank you. I'll pay you $3.
It attacks you.
What?
Yep. And yep, they attack anyone they don't recognize.
What?
And you gave yourself a very specific description that they don't recognize. So you need to roll initiative.
The fuck?
Can I send out the message for something?
You will join
Getting
initiative,
angry?
and you can do that on your first turn. They definitely would have gotten enough of a jump on you.
Even if it was prepared?
It was a held action?
Yes.
You did describe it that way, so yeah,
Yep.
we can say that.
I'm gonna be like,
Oh shit.
oh no, now I have to think of 25 words.
This is not how I expected this to go.
Okay, let's do some things. This one. I gotta go find this. Yay for having to improvise everything.
Are the first like 15 words of your message just gonna be fuck, 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 fuck?
Okay.
You can try to persuade it to like you.
I can't speak Draconic.
Oh, but you
No,
can
but
offer
you can-
snacks.
Offer snacks and stuff. Bribe it.
If it attacks anyone that it doesn't recognize, I doubt throwing a beef jerky will stop it from murdering me.
One way to find out.
Oh, boy.
Oh fuck.
I've got an amulet of proof against detection and location. But that only helps against divination magic, not other detection. Like smell. I thought I was creative with the smell though.
Yeah, but it's what he doesn't know
I use the
with his eyes.
The smell was creative, but yes, it is just anybody that it doesn't recognize.
Can I use a +2 for my initiative roll?
Sure.
Yeah, I have 18 then. Thank you.
Okay. 18.
Yeah.
Juno, what did you get?
Oh, I gotta roll that still. I'm trying to come up with the 25-word message. Boop. Aha! 4!
Oof.
I rolled a natural 1. Doing my best, everyone.
Okay. Icarus, you do get the first move. This guard drake is definitely coming at you.
Okay, I'm going to move into the next room to try to create minimal ruckus. So I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That one's coming at me, but I don't want the lizard folk behind us to catch on, is my whole thing. So I'm going into the next room. From there, I am... Okay, this well didn't do what I thought it did.
Can you like suggest something at it?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Like halt or please no?
I'm gonna cast suggestion on it. Do I need to say what I'm suggesting while I cast it?
Yes.
I'm gonna say forget. So I'm gonna like suggest it, forget that we're here. So that is a charisma save, I believe. Wisdom save of 17.
Okay, it doesn't have to be a singular word, so we can be specific here. So you're trying to make it forget what?
Forget we are here.
Forget that you're here.
Yeah, or like, I mean, that's the idea. I'm saying forget we're here, which is kind of like just let us pass or ignore us. Or like ignore our presence, I guess.
Okay.
Would be more straightforward.
That sounds doable. Wisdom save?
Yep, of 17.
14.
Cool.
Okay.
So it pursues the course of my action to the best of its ability. It continues for up to 8 hours.
Okay, so this one will sort of like stop in the middle of its movement, look around and blink a few times and just sort of huff and then look away. However, you see a second guard drake in here that sees you and is also hostile toward you.
Yeah, I stepped too far in, is my mistake. I was trying to avoid the lizard folk and I found another guard drake.
You're a little stuck.
I can put it to sleep once it's my turn.
Anything else for you?
Let me double check. I'm gonna use my Mantle of Inspiration to give us both 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Okay, and that's my turn.
Everybody who's not in initiative, please roll initiative. Because you got the message, so we're gonna count you in the order of things to do, but
Would you like me to read that for our audience?
Yes,
does
that
not
would
have access.
That would be fantastic.
Juno said, Guard Drake, northeast corner, first floor. We might be okay. Stand by for fly-in. Currently seeing base of stairs leading up. Hope this fucking works. And I
Okay.
sent that to my spouse.
Got it.
So I'm gonna
Remember,
have-
Heck, you have a plus 1d8 to your initiative.
Yes.
What?
I said the DPK show discussions. You haven't checked out our Discord, everybody. News? Oh.
Oh boy. Get that link in there. You should definitely join.
Eliseo, what did you get for
Gifts that are
initiative?
relevant.
17.
With a modifier of...
17. It was 10 plus 7.
Okay. And Aster was the... Oh, okay, so it's 13.
11 plus 2.
Okay.
And your d8?
The D8 was the 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got an 8.
Multi got an 8.
Woohoo!
Got
We
that.
all rolled
Okay.
so good. I'm so glad that I'm at the bottom of this initiative. Yay me.
Okay, Eliseo, what would you like to do, if anything?
All right. We got the message of possible fly-in, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna use. We're like up against the base of the tower, right? Like nobody can see us right now.
You can make a perception check as your action.
No. I will use my best guess without an action and say
Okay.
we're probably fine. And I'm going to repeat the message from Juno to Aster and Ulta and be like, all right, I can get us all up there at once. Do we go now? We're
Sure.
going. Cool. I'm going to use my action to, whatever it's called, turn into my angel form.
Radiant
Soul. Yes. And so I will get a flying speed and I'll just hold out both my arms for them to come hop on, and then we're all gonna fly up.
Okay.
Oh,
I have to ask, Aster and Ulta, how much do you guys weigh with all your equipment?
I'm a strong
that's a
boy.
fantastic question. Let me look at my character sheet. Did I fill that out on D&D Beyond? I don't know.
I think it might be close at best, LSAO, but we do need to.
I know. I'm gonna go figure out what my
But yeah, I
carry
did.
speed
125.
thing is.
If you
weight
can't-
carried is 82 pounds.
Yeah, if you can't carry the both of us, I have a plan to get a climbing.
Hang
speed.
on.
So-
I'm checking a thing. I'm doing math. It's taking some time.
15 times your strength score, so it's the same as before hitting encumbrance.
Yes.
And you do have to
So-
count all your own stuff too.
I'm gonna go check my stuff. Sweet. All right. Go away. Okay. How much does Ulta weigh? You said 82?
That's just weight carried. Are you doing full weight?
Yeah, it's got to include.
So?
Oh, okay. Hang on. I have to add more then.
Here we go.
82.
Otherwise, they all do have the capacity to fly or climb.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm just trying
Exactly.
to save the flying abilities and like
Yeah.
let them use their actions for something else.
So I'm just going to use these bases that I just found.
Okay.
122 and a half for me.
Yes, that's with the
But-
35 base.
Correct.
Okay. Aster, I believe you're gonna fit in the category of human best, so 110 plus what you're wearing, put your equipment tab.
110 would put me over carrying capacity. I can do 225.
Okay, so you can carry Ulta.
and all her stuff. So I will hold out
Yeah.
one arm and not
So,
two.
Yeah, no worries. I can. Yeah, I have a plan. Don't worry, I have a plan.
Yes. No, I figured, but I'll just be like, okay, save you some time, and just kind of try and get her to be able to use an action.
Sounds good.
Which tower was it? I was paying attention to you, my love.
The message said northeast.
Sure, I'm gonna fly towards that direction. Stealthily.
This way. If you can see my pings on the map.
I can't because I'm blinded in that area.
Oh. They don't even show up if you're blind? Well,
It's all blacked out. I can't
Yep.
see anything ping.
can you see this?
No?
Okay.
Oh, up here.
But like,
Oh.
all the way across, all the way over here.
We're up here.
Take a direct right from that spot.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Here?
Northeast. It's gonna be a while
That
before you
one?
guys can even get here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
we all should have just walked before we flew up. I thought
But
you were
I
in
think-
this tower right here because I couldn't see the pings.
Nope, we are
Okay.
all the way over here now.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So here's.
Northeast.
No worries.
Top right.
I can fly for a full
Eliseo,
minute.
the tower you are at. Damn, I have to correct an earlier description. The tower you are at
no.
goes up 30 feet.
Us?
This tower goes up
This
30
tower.
feet
Okay.
before hitting its peak.
Right.
This area, this everything from. God, this is a very poorly written thing.
Uh-huh.
Gay elevation. I love playing 3D games.
Everything else is 90 feet high.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like the roof is still going to be your safest bet, though.
So, like, fly directly up and then just run across the roof is what you're saying?
Naruto,
me on
run
the-
across the roof.
I don't know what that means.
I was just gonna say, just set me down on the roof, and I will
Sprint
make
it
my
out.
way that way. Mm-hmm.
Are you looking
Yeah,
to be
I mean-
set down on the tall roof or the roof that's 60 feet shorter here than the rest of it?
How are you going to get the 60 feet up?
It would be the tallest then, because that's the one that goes across, right?
Yeah, so we're aiming for this area,
Okay.
I think.
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy.
Yay for figuring out flying.
Okay.
Okay,
In that
so are you
case,
flying
it
straight
might-
up until you hit this roof and then
Well,
continuing a different direction?
no,
Describe what your intent
no.
is.
Because if we're trying to get all the way across and, like, save actions and stuff, like, that's going to be several rounds before we can get out. Would it be better for Aster to do a bird so that we're all going together faster? Because birds can fly faster than I can.
This is a lot of discussion and planning
No,
for
you're
one
right.
turn.
You're right. I shouldn't be trying to do a conversation out of character. Goodness. Locations and brain.
Yeah, welcome to improvising.
Yep.
Just get us to the part of the roof that can get us that I can run across. And
So
if I need to climb or do something else, I will worry about Ulta doing that. No biggie.
yeah, I'm not worried
'Cause
about
I-
the climbing thing. I'm just worried about this is going to be a lot of time before we actually go. 1, 2,
That's fine.
4,
I
5.
think we'll be
Oh,
okay.
God
That's
damn
why I
it.
said stand by.
I mean, we have a tank and a healer. We'll be fine.
Yeah, they did tell us stand by, and also if we were walking, it would probably be just about the same, anyways.
But
Right.
with way more people to encounter.
Correct.
Do you mind if I move my token so I can see where the doorways are? Because if I'm flying, I would want to try to fly like out of sight of doorways if they're there.
Yes, but I need to make one more correction because for whatever reason the maps are orientated two different ways and that threw me off.
Oh, what?
So sorry.
I'm so confused.
Wow,
right now.
here I was all prepared for this session and then correction.
Physics.
This
Physics.
entire area immediately in front of you is 60 feet tall.
Okay.
Essentially the rectangle that makes up the rest of the castle, you know, without this half orb thing that you're right next to, the rest of that is 90 feet tall.
Okay.
But this protrusion from the castle is only 60 feet tall.
Yep.
So
I mean, even
yes,
if you
can
only
move
fly
So
forward.
part of the way,
essentially,
that's gonna
yeah,
still
I was
help
just gonna
Ulta.
say
Right.
it's not gonna change the course of action. You're still gonna drop me where you need to drop me, and I will climb and make my way downtown.
Yeah. I
Walking
can make
fast.
it to the 90. Like, we'll be fine. I'm just counting now.
Okay, so what is your movement or flying speed?
Ah,
30.
it's 30.
Okay, so you can make it 60 feet in one direction. And this is a large enough scale that we cannot do the 1-to-1 for diagonal. It's going to have to be the 3-to-2 to keep it a little bit closer to accurate.
Oh, I'm just counting out squares, so I'm moving 6 squares every time. Is that incorrect?
That
I
would
think
be
what
if
he's
you're
saying is
moving
that
straight
we-
horizontal or straight Vertical.
Okay.
If you're trying to angle yourself
So he's saying
to the
don't
fastest
angle
path,
it.
Right.
then we have to math it out a little bit because this is a very long
Okay.
distance.
90-degree angles.
Yeah. So if I move 4 over, can we say I move 10 feet up so that I'm above like door frames that people might be looking out the door and be like, there's a dragon angel out there holding a axolotl or whatever. A lizard. Kobold. Nope. Yes. Salamander. I can't remember which one you're based on. I have a lot of friends that are like, I want to be adorable.
God.
So one is an axolotl base, and I can't remember who. And anyways.
Okay, so I'm gonna say for
Can I move
every
over 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I just
yes,
wanna
for
move
every
over.
4 that you move across the map, that's 2 or 10 feet that you
Yep.
move up. It's
Yep.
close enough.
Cool. Math.
And that's with Ulta in
Yes.
tow. Okay,
In tow.
we got there.
Enhance, actually, but yeah.
Anything else for your turn?
I don't want to. I want to be done with my turn. Even if I could be useful, I don't want to be done.
Okay. That brings us to this guard drake. Yeah, we're still on that view. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gonna get to here and snarl at you. And you see another one following behind it.
Fuck, there's another one. I mean, curses.
They're actually gonna dash to get closer, but they can't take actions at that point. That brings us to Aster. Ulta on deck.
Okay, so to recap, they just went like up, right? Like that's what Aster saw. That Eliseo and Ulta just like flew up along with the wall.
Yes.
Am I getting that?
A-
Okay.
At an
cool.
angle, so they're going this direction, but also up.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm bringing the whole view here so chat can see.
No, you're fine. I'm just like, okay. Yeah, okay, so that changes what I wanted to do a whole lot. Yeah, tell you what. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out which bird has the largest flying speed. Pretty sure it's the giant eagle. It is. Okay, so yeah, I would like to wild shape into a giant eagle.
Okay.
And yeah, just go in the same direction, although I have a flight speed of 80 feet.
Damn.
So we just
Yeah.
start flying, and you just.
Zoom.
Yeah.
We should have waited and just got a ride there. Oh well.
Okay. So it's gonna follow the same rules. Are you intending to get to the roof like the rest are? Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
So for every 2 squares that you move across the map, that's 1 square up.
Okay.
If you're going for like fastest path, which it sounds like you are.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna mess it up still measuring it. Okay.
All of us will.
So you can, okay, I'm gonna keep it rough. It's not gonna be exactly the same for everybody, but I think we can just deal with it because we're just going for close enough. You can move across the map 60 feet, and that'll put you 20 feet up. It's
Okay.
close.
So, like, hold on. Let me just like show my measurement. So like
Yeah.
this, right? Like going in this direction,
Yep.
like that. Okay, cool.
And then please note at that point, if you go there, that you are 20 feet in the air.
Yep. Will do. I think this was the right square.
Okay. And that was an action and movement. Do you have bonus action that you would like to take?
I don't think there is really one that I can do as an eagle. So no, I'm good.
Okay. Ulta, are you doing anything?
I would like to ready a hunter's mark
Okay.
when I see a creature that is being aggressive to my friends.
Sounds good. Juno, you're up with Icarus on deck.
Well invisible, I'm gonna run up to right here. Ah, shit! I'm gonna whisper that to myself as I run in here, and I cast sleep at hold, please. I need to figure out how to do math. Now that everyone else has been doing math, I'm gonna do sleep math. Okay, go away, all of old rules. Clear all. Thank you. I'm gonna cast sleep at 4th level.
Okay.
So 5, 7, 9, 11. Roll D8. Evils. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna roll sleep. And math is gonna be real hard because it's Dungeons and Dragons, and why not? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm casting sleep, aiming at this one that's directly in front of my brother, but then also aiming for the one that's coming in close, that's over here. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm like kind of slapping it right here, seeing if it can take them both out. I rolled, but where did that page just go? I just lost it. Fuck. I rolled 38 total. For the, wait, no, I'm not doing the right amount. Hold, please. I'm supposed to do 11. Here we go. This is much better. I rolled 53 total for a 4th level sleep. I would like them to all go to sleep now. Or at least the 2 that are here and here. Because I am now visible casting sleep.
Okay. This one falls asleep.
Good night.
I'm gonna use
Is
a
this
different
one?
symbol for this one because it's charmed. Nothing happens for this one.
Son of a bitch.
It's squishier than I thought it was. There.
So wait, are both of these asleep? Is this one and this one asleep?
This one is the one
No.
that Icarus told to forget about or ignore
Okay.
them. Or
Okay,
ignore
so that's
you.
what the heart is thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And this one is asleep.
They both had sleepy faces, so I had confusion. And I was
Oh,
like, great.
Sorry, I
But the
meant to
one
take this one off and make it just the heart.
Okay.
Anything else?
Bonus action. I'm gonna float. Wait, is it dark in here or dimly lit? I should say.
It's brightly lit because it's still daytime outside and all these open windows.
Mother trucker. All right, then I'm just gonna stay here flat on the ground. Hate it. Want it to be dark. all the
Come
time.
pick you up soon.
I'm gonna just taunt this next one by throwing a piece of rations at its head. It's not an attack, I'm just taunting it in hopes that it won't go for my brother.
Okay. Wait, what was that last bit?
I'm going to throw a piece of rations at this other. Oh my god, I'm clicking on the
Oh.
on Twitch. I'm just gonna throw a piece of rations at this guy's head to kind of taunt it to address its attention towards me instead of at my brother.
Okay.
Because I am fully visible now.
Okay.
I feel like I'm the naked emperor right now. Stupid man.
Okay. That brings us up to Icarus with LSAO on deck.
All right. So I'm going to second level cast with my bonus action Branding Smite. And as I knock an arrow and it starts to glow a brilliant golden red-ish color. And then I am going to shoot at the one awake one. So my first attack is a natural 1.
Oof.
For a 12 to hit. Can I still take my second attack or did I mess something up?
No, you only miss on the one. So you're good.
22.
That'll hit.
All right, so this is a... Uh, 8 plus this. Let me roll my spell damage. Oh, I rolled 2 1s. 8 plus 2 is 10 10 piercing and 2 radiant damage.
8 piercing, 2 radiant damage for a total of 10.
Wow, that was really upsetting. That was very upsetting.
All right. Anything else?
Let me just double check one thing. I feel like my damage is messed up, but I also trust it, so it should be fine. Just the +1. So it's just +1 piercing damage for my pact, for my improved weapon, and that's it.
All right, LSAO with Aster as the next player.
I'm
Oh, wait,
casting haste on myself to make math even worse.
Okay.
It was +3 instead of +1 because of archery.
Okay.
Sorry.
Deal.
That's why. I don't know why it doesn't add the feat in. Because I have archery, so I have a +3 to damage, and it doesn't add it in.
So you're hasting yourself?
Yep. So that's the action. My speed is doubled, and I get an additional action with which I will dash. So that's 3 movements.
Okay.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not letting myself get outrun by a bird.
Okay, and now you are 50 feet in the air.
Come here! I can move her! Hooray. That's it. That's
Okay.
all my stuff. We're
Then-
moving.
I just kept the player view here because I assumed that would be quick. This guard drake is going to run up to Icarus. Whoops. And first try to tail whip and then try to bite. 12 and a 21 to hit you, Icarus.
21 will hit.
Ten piercing damage.
Okay.
That is it.
I am going to use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke at 1st level. Oh, actually that's Warlock, so that'll be 3rd level. Because I don't have a choice. I don't think I can cast that as the other one, but that is 34 fire damage.
Isn't that you have to roll to hit?
Nope. Oh, you have a dex save to make half damage.
Okay.
A dex save of 17.
13.
So 34 fire damage.
Okay. It is very bloodied. It's looking really rough. And the sound that comes from the Hellish Rebuke will grab the attention of the lizard folk behind you. They look
Beans.
at least curious about the situation. It doesn't look like they're immediately springing into aggressive action toward you, although they are moving.
Is the Drake still up?
It is.
Okay, oops. Okay.
All right, Aster. Sorry,
All right.
no, that was, Aster, then Ulta, then Juno.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm absolutely the worst at spatial reasoning, so like, I'm just confusing myself more. Are we going for this tower? This one that I'm pinging right here? Like, I'm not
Isn't it confusing?
I'm lost as to like where
Yeah,
exactly
Zoom
it
this
all the
is.
way out on the map and go to the top right.
Yes.
Okay.
This.
The light pink is where we are.
I don't know if they
Okay.
can see it.
It's my pink.
Yeah, no, I can't. I just had to things too out. I was like, what am I
When
doing?
I say northeast, I mean northeast.
I go all the way over there.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, because like I don't know, I was just following. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so using my dash, I have 160 feet of movement. So I'm still going up. Like I can, yeah.
I'm gonna say then, going by our rough conversion, that you can get to about here,
Okay,
and that will put you an additional 60 feet in the air,
let's do it. Fuck.
going at the ideal angle. What is the total that puts you at for height?
For height, we did 20 last round, so I'm at 80.
Okay. So you're 10 feet from the flat of the roof. All right. Ulta, then Juno.
I have so many buttons to click when I fucking mute myself. I'm still apparently being held by my scruff, flying through the air, or under my arm
Scruff?
like a football.
I would not scruff you.
I mean, it's fine if so. You know.
Surfboarding it.
Yeah, however, and
I mean, I did hold both arms out for you to choose how you wanted to be carried, so assume whatever position you want.
Yeah, she will just be just hanging on, probably
You could scarf
piggyback
it
style.
just around my neck.
Yeah, she'll just hang out, and she's still just holding that good old hunter's mark.
Okay. Juno, then Icarus.
Well,
Back over here.
thank you. Do. Fuck. Icarus is next.
Yes.
I am going to cast greater invisibility on myself. And then I'm gonna try to run past this motherfucker.
Are you not already invisible?
I became
Yeah,
uninvisible
I became
because I
invisible.
cast a spell because I used
Ah.
normal invisibility to get in here. I
Okay.
did not use greater invisibility because that's a spell slot, and I did not want to use a spell slot. But now
Gotcha.
I'm gonna use that spell slot, and I'm running right over here.
Okay, so you see a stairway spiraling upward.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most you can move, right?
Yes.
Okay, Icarus, then
Because my
Elise.
bonus actions are very limited, if I recall correctly.
Right.
Because it's brightly lit in here. Let's never do things during the day again.
Okay, Icarus, then Eliseo.
I think I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration again for a mantle of inspiration for the second time,
Okay.
and for me and my sister, so it'll probably just replace your hit points. But one of the perks of this is you can use your reaction to move up to your full speed without provoking opportunity attacks. So I will use my reaction to move 30 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6. And then that's without an opportunity attack, so I will turn around and shoot it twice. Now. Sister, you can do the same as well if you'd like to.
Do what? Shoot it?
No, you can move up to, I got a natural 20. You can move up to your movement using your reaction anywhere you'd like.
Yeet! I'm going up these
So-
stairs. Tag team.
For the natural 20, oh, it always rolls that weird, I'm sorry.
It rolls it weird because it's assuming rules that are the base rules, not my homebrew. So
Yes.
take the maximum amount of damage that you can do.
Okay.
with the modifiers, and then take what you rolled, just the dice, and add all that together.
So 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19 piercing damage on the first attack.
That will drop it.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the status of things. Do you have anything more that you could do / want to?
I was going to say something, and then I realized I can't speak Draconic, so I'm just gonna call it to the other room. The damn drakes are acting up again, in like my lizard folk accent that I've been working on, and I'm gonna keep moving
Okay.
up to the staircase because I have my movement left. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. I can move up to right there, but I'm just gonna call that out before I leave to try to cover our tracks.
Okay. So here's where we're at. The things in initiative are asleep or dead or charmed. It sounded like everybody's going for the roof, the northeast corner. Do I have that right? Okay. Let's stop, I think, at the point that you all are able to get there. I was checking through everything. You're not going to alert anything new. And we will begin our next session with all of you converging at the northeast tower, top level. Does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It worked for me.
All right. In that case, that's going to be a wrap for tonight. Let's go around the table again and do our usual outros. Heck, while you're going, I need to take a quick run to the restroom. I just don't want to waste everybody's time with that. So I'll be right back while you guys are going.
Alrighty then. Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Hecklot. I'll try to fill up the time as much as I can. You can find, or let's talk about who I played first. I played Aster, the Shifter Circle Wildfire Druid. You can find me on all of the social medias at Sir Hecklot, like Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that, and then our lovely Discord that you should definitely join if you haven't already. In terms of the TTRPG space, you can find me here every other Tuesday and Thursday for, Thursdays, what you just saw, as well as every other Tuesday for Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, our campaign that we play. You can find me every other Sunday on Neon Lights Roleplay with our show, The Violet Sea. It's a system developed entirely by the DM himself, so it's super duper fun. We have a Valentine's one shot on Monday over at Neon Lights as well. So it's going to be really fun. I'm very excited for it. What else? Every Wednesday for the rest of this month, you can find me over at a Lost Caravan RPG. We're playing Locust, and it's been amazing. You're going to want to catch these last 2 episodes of the month because it's just been incredible. And I can't wait to run the system for the Coven on the 26th. Get ready. It's going to be so fun. And then on the only other thing I have is on the 17th, this coming Thursday, I have my podcast with Times Dungeon in the chat called Dungeons and Discussions, and we're going to be talking character creation. So it's going to be a really good time. I think that's about it. Heading on over to Nifernif.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nifernif. I'm currently dying of a coughing fit. So currently, just come see me tomorrow when I'm here on this channel. And I hopefully will be feeling healthier. I'll be playing in module week. So yeah, show up tomorrow if you actually want to hear about me. Okay, bye.
Baya, I'm Hyacinth, and I'm gonna ride this pun till I die. I was playing Icarus, our mistakenly clever this time, but also still fucking things up. Elven Bardlock. I'm again, my other game is on hiatus, so I will be just here every other week, just chilling, having fun with my friends. So, yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Coach Corndog McGraw on the internet. This was lovely. I played Juno, the Twilight Domain cleric, because multiclassing is not in my nature. you can find me here on Tuesday for a special episode of Sherlock Investigations, where we try to solve anything or basically try not to die. Come hang out Tuesday. Should be fun. I'm probably gonna die. It's fine. But then you'll catch me next time, 2 weeks from now, here and doing this. If I have any other shows in between, oops. To Chrissy.
Yes, hello. I am Chrissy Kritz. I played Ulta, our Kobold Swarmkeeper Ranger. You can find me all over the internet as well, like everybody said, under the same handle. I am not clever enough to have multiple, so I had to have Kohlrabi pick one, and I've stuck with it. My computer looks like it's frozen. But
We can still hear you.
We can still hear you.
Oh,
Oh, you're
good.
back.
There it is. We're fine.
Just like frozen in place.
Beep boop.
Oh, good.
Beep,
I was
boop,
gonna
boop.
say, oh no, that happens so.
Fucking
This is
much.
great. Things are
Yeah.
great.
I'm glad you're back,
All right,
though.
is it
It's nice to
working
see you
now?
again.
It is
Yes,
working.
it's working
Yes.
now.
Good. This is good. Wonderful. Yeah. Fuck. Whatever. Most important thing, I suppose. Module week, yes, absolutely. You'll see me here. Sherlock coming up. Make sure you pop in for that. I know Corndog already talked about it. Also, I am along with Niffer. I know they are as well. Jasper's Game Day ambassadors. So I know that Niffer was last year's, but I feel like you just always stay one forever. So whatever.
I'm still
So
currently-
yeah. So I will be playing in a Jasper's charity stream on March 15th over at Ghostlight RPGs. So come join me for that. And I think I'm going to be there a little bit. So that's all mostly.
Okay, and I'm that Magic Juice, of course, the GM of this. You'll see me back here again in 2 weeks from today. I do run one other campaign on my own channel that is normally every other Sunday, but there is one gap in the coming week due to big life events happening for some of my players. So the next time you'll see me on that is Sunday the 20th. That'll be a few days before this here. And as far as TTRPG stuff, that is kind of it. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Stay cool, stay classy. Thanks again to all of the new raiders, new followers, all the new friends we have in the community. Check out the Discord. That's already been linked a couple times. We always have stuff going on, including info and updates on new things that are coming up when they happen. So aside from that, we'll see you soon.